Morning folks, it's Friday 28th I think of August, coming into bank holiday weekend. Yeah, been busy working, so last couple of days I've not really had a chance to do a video. I've been a bit tired after the last set of days off and then been rushing around in the day with work, so I'm on a later shift today, which kind of afforded me a bit of time. I just needed to try and sort some more cases out from underneath the bed. As you're aware from the previous video, I had a bit of a problem uploading the stuff last time. The video, for some reason, where I'd walked Marley in the woods, wouldn't mesh together with the episode 59, so I had to put like an extra episode of 59A on. So if you watched it and thought it was a bit disjointed, I can only apologise, but for some reason I'd caught the footage, but it allowed me to upload it separately, but not in a sequence of when we were away. I was a bit wound up that day. We'd had a very near miss, as I explained on the day with the van. Some guy had pulled out on us in Poole, or just outside Poole in Dorset, and as I say, it would just, shook me up completely. I mean, Becky was in the passenger seat; she was nearest to that side, and we both thought we'd made contact, me and Becky, with the guy in front. He just pulled straight across the front of us. It was only, I hit the brakes, I locked everything up. Everything came careering forward. Everything that was on the passenger seats hit the dashboard. Luckily nothing broke. Obviously the dogs were in the dog box. Their box had moved forward. It then obviously kind of crashed into the plastic storage boxes that I'd got in the boot. Luckily that stopped the dog box hitting the heater, and obviously the main frame of the back of the bed. So since this bit's solid, obviously it's built into a huge frame here. But what it did do, it obviously forced these plastic boxes forward. And obviously you can see now in the darkness, the abyss of underneath the dog box is it all smashed. So there's my heater. You can see, probably get a bit of light in there. Hang on. Let me put a bit of light on for you. There we are. So there's my heater. So luckily nothing hit that, but these boxes obviously stopped the impact a bit and kind of cushioned it. Luckily it didn't damage anything of the structure of the unit. It was just that box. It has got a cast iron skillet in there, so that'll probably explain why it's probably splintered it all. But that was the only damage we sustained. So it has kind of taught me is that I need some kind of solid boxes, and I need to get some secure. Obviously here, this side where I'm pointing the camera now, I'm going to have some storage units built where I can slide container boxes into, and they'll be securely in, so there'll be no movement. But I also need to secure the dog box by putting a lat across the back of there. So that means the dog box can't slide this way. It's on a rubber mat, which under normal circumstances it wouldn't have moved. But when you're braking from 40 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour to zero, to the point where the van as good as stalls, it's not ideal, and they obviously need to be secure. So that's the little idea today anyway. I'm going to measure up these boxes, and I think some kind of overland boxes of some description, which are solid, lightweight, and secure to put everything in, and it makes it a bit tidier under there as well, because I've not got a stacking facility, because it's kind of a wasted space above. So until I get some storage units built in there, the idea is to go up right underneath the bed, and then all the way to the back where the back of the dog box is, and perhaps the depth of of where this unit is here. But we were very lucky to only sustain that. I genuinely thought the van, when we got out, it was be front end damage. But that would have been after all the hard work that Steve's done and all the, turn that off, all the journeys I'd made to try and get this sorted, and then one moment of some, you know, madness from another driver where they thought the lane was clear to pull into, and it could have just been completely pointless. It does kind of write home a little bit as to if you're living in a van, that you are susceptible to other road users, and you know, if you're reliant on this as your accommodation, if you have a prang or a crash, then this is your home. It's no different to having damage to your property when you have to move out to go somewhere whilst that's repaired. I mean, imagine the cost implication of having a van, and then, or being in a van, like on your holiday, or if you're a van dweller, and then having to move out somewhere. It's an expensive job. But the van is all intact. There was no contact. It's an if but and maybe scenario, but it certainly opens your eyes. Luckily I've got a dash cam, so as soon as I got out to speak with the guy, he was quite, not defensive, but, oh, you've not kind of made, you've not crashed or anything. I said, well, we'll review the dash cam footage and see, and obviously see whether the vehicle's got any damage. And obviously when he realised there was a dash cam there, I think he kind of went, oh yeah, no problem, yeah, my details are such and such. So he did give me his details, which was, well, he should have done anyway, because it was his fault. But I said I'd contact him if there was any damage, but the van drives fine. It's a plastic box at the end of the day. If there had been any internal damage, I'd have been a different matter. But so lucky, really so lucky. I've never been, you know, that close to hitting somebody. Not him, the van. Or his car. I mean, he would have probably rolled because we were coming in at a corner angle as well, so it'd have probably been quite a big impact on him. Anyway, let's forget about that for the time being. I'm going to do a bit of researching now for some overland boxes, so I can stack store and try and position those in a way that they are solid. But it just goes to show, you know, Steve, testament to his van building, and he's, you know, it's all solid, it's all timber supported, and without that there, I think we would have probably had problems. I say the whole thing would have come careering into the fridge and cooker, because we were doing a fair old speed, and as I say, you know, only at the last minute did I see him to stop. I must have stopped him. It felt like 6 foot, but he's clearly a lot further. I mean, they're brand new tyres as well, so we'd have had extra grip. But Jesus, you know, I still can't get over how we didn't hit him. But anyway, that's done with now. So I think we're down to countdown. Been watching YouTube videos all morning of Scotland and the Highland, and Scotland and the Highland. Down to 23 days now before departure. It's been decided where we're going to go now. So we are going to be, you're going to be massively drip fed YouTube videos of the west coast of Scotland and the Outer Hebrides in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to map that. We're going to try and get up to Skye within 48 hours of setting off, because it's a long drive, but we want to take in a little bit and stop off at a couple of places on the way up before we get to where the holiday bit starts, and then it's a slow meander. through the inner and outer Hebrides. So we've got that to try and cement a little bit. The other concern for me at the moment is the numbers. We've only got 23 days left before we depart. I say we are being sensible, we're staying in the UK. You know, we haven't gone abroad for the purpose of, you know, having to quarantine, not that you could probably go to many places. The unfortunate thing is, you've got other people that normally holiday abroad, they're going to want to, or are holidaying in the UK, or have been. And subsequently, it's going to be busier. We are going later, which I'd like to think most people's holidays have either been and done it. But then you've got the people who are aware of that, who are thinking along the same lines as ourselves, that it's the back end of the season, almost into autumn and winter. But for van people, that doesn't matter, you see, because you know, you can go any time of the year, and the retired people will probably want to go after the 6 weeks holidays, which are August into September. My other issue is COVID, which is playing on my mind a lot. Every day on the news I see that the numbers are climbing. France and Spain, therefore, 5,000 cases or new cases a day being reported. The UK, I think, is currently at 1,200, 1,400, maybe a bit more new cases, which the death toll's not massive. It's still low numbers for that, but we're going back to the original kind of numbers, the original kind of increases of what we saw on the first wave, which is a worry, as you know, certain communities are locked down. Obviously, one, passing from south to north to get through that area. Two, obviously, we don't want to transmit anything or be classed as a carrier from one place to another. And thirdly, the destination we're going to, you know, how welcome are we going to be? Is that going to be in lockdown? Is there a risk of us being locked down there? Because these cases, you know, there's no real identification as to where these numbers are, the hotspots for people to get it, apart from what you see on the news. And you are, you know, it's almost trial by media for some of these towns. I think Leicester was one, and then you've got the northwest area, Bolton, I think, is it Bradford or that way. So there is a worry as to, whilst you're away, or in the next 21 days, what's going to happen. Because, you know, we were 2 weeks behind Europe with this COVID. So if we're looking at that, unless we take different measures to what Europe or France and Spain have taken, we're probably in 2 weeks' time going to be looking at 4,000 new cases every day. And the argument about kids going to school and, you know, sports venues opening and cinemas and people becoming, you know, not complacent but adopting a normal lifestyle, it seems to be moving forward from the government. And there's a kind of, it's a bit contrary to what the WHO or healthcare are saying. So it's at what cost? I don't want to have kind of gone all year, worked all year in preparation for this trip, and then to get to the last minute, it'd be cancelled, which would be an absolute nightmare. But positive thinking. We're just 2 weeks behind Europe, and we're 3 weeks away off our holiday. I know. Last time I was going for a van fit in February, and it was the night before I was due to go, and the Prime Minister came on and locked down everywhere, and that was it. I was literally, it happened at like 9 o'clock at night, and I was due to leave at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was stuck. I couldn't go anywhere. I was like, well, you know, he's officially locked everything down, so that would be horrendous. I've basically gone all year for this trip, and I know there's more important things in life, but van life, Scotland, the isolation of wild camping, the location is, you know, they're unbelievable. Just waking up in the morning and you just hear the sea, the waves. You're right on the beaches, kind of thing. And the self-sufficiency of it all is just, I love it. I will literally flush my head down the toilet if there's another lockdown prior to us going on this trip. "23 days, and we're 14 days behind Europe." It's close, it is very close. Right, let me get these boxes ordered. Right, so I'd say it is a short video today. They generally will be on when I'm on afternoons. But over the next couple of days there'll be a bit more enjoyable content. Let's say it's just time, tiredness, and work gets in the way. But anyone who's watching, thank you for watching. I've appreciated your support over the last 60 videos. I've got more followers than I thought I would have got, and I've got a lot of views on my own YouTube studio. Telematics, I think it's called, shows me, you know, a lot higher numbers than YouTube does. So I know who's watching, say, and what parts you're watching and which videos you're enjoying. So thank you, I appreciate your support. As I say, it is for me, but if you're enjoying it as well, then even better. But van life, if you've not got one, highly recommend it. Just try and avoid lane 3 and Range Rovers. Stay safe, everybody. See you next time.